E1MN, a state agency partnership advancing employment first. E1MN is a collaboration between the Minnesota Department of Human Services, the Minnesota Department of Education, and the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development, working together to deliver a more seamless and timely employment support system. The slide shows the E1MN and State of Minnesota logos. Most people enrolled in a home and community-based services waiver use a combination of services and supports. For example, a person may be getting residential services, home care, day services, transportation, mental health services, and employment services, to name a few. As a waiver case manager, you play a critical role in supporting employment by helping the person coordinate all their services and supports. Let's take a look at how you can fulfill that responsibility. During the engage, plan, and keep phases, services are delivered through a person's waiver. We'll start by looking at your role as a case manager during these phases. Talk to the person to determine which phase they are in. Once you have determined this, help the person identify their support needs. To do this, help the person make a list of questions they need answered or things they need help with related to employment. This might include things like help understanding what happens to their benefits when they work, learning about transportation options, or exploring the idea of work and potential careers. Look at the formal services and informal supports they currently have that could address these needs, and the services they might need, like waiver employment services or transportation services. Supports are individualized based on each person's unique needs and situation. For example, one person may need waiver transportation to get to work. Another may have friends or family who can help them get to work. Next, help the person access and coordinate services to meet their employment needs. This could mean helping the person adjust their transportation services schedule so they can get to work experiences in the community, working with their provider to adjust their personal care assistant schedule so they can have help getting ready for work each day, or helping the person access benefits planning information through their waiver employment service provider. One important point of transition and collaboration is when the person moves from engage or plan phase services through their waiver to find phase services through vocational rehabilitation services, VRS, or state services for the blind, SSB. Let's look at some of the key steps in that process. When the person has a job goal or knows basically what they want to do for work and is ready to move to finding a job, you and the employment service provider explain VRS, or SSB if the person is blind, to the person and help coordinate the start of those services. At the bottom of this lesson, you can find a link to the Disability Hub Work Toolkit, which has information to help you explain and coordinate VRS SSB services. This page contains an overview of the VRS SSB process and links to the VRS SSB liaisons who you can contact with questions, and a link to look up a person's local VRS SSB office. Use the E1MN Common Referral Form, also linked below, to help the person get connected to their local VRS SSB office and start the application process, ideally 30 days before the job search will begin. Once VRS SSB gets the referral form, they will schedule an intake meeting with the person. Encourage the person to share their employment portfolio and other important documents with VRS SSB through their MyVault account, or a different method if they prefer. Once a person has moved to the find phase, VRS SSB staff take the lead role coordinating services. If the person needs ongoing employment supports, the VRS SSB counselor will work with you to coordinate those services and may also need your help to coordinate other services and supports. Case managers need to collaborate with other professionals, such as VRS SSB, to coordinate all waiver services and supports. For example, once the person has a job in mind, they may need help figuring out how the waiver can support the person with transportation or coordinating their day support services with their new work hours. Be prepared to fill a supporting role during this phase. Communicate proactively with the person and the VRS SSB counselor to confirm when VRS SSB services are ending and the person is moving into the keep phase. Your collaboration with VRS SSB is critical during this transition. By coordinating services, you are helping to achieve the shared vision of working together to align our systems so that people who are on HCBS disability waivers get seamless and timely supports to make informed choices and meet competitive, integrated employment goals.